Hey everybody, I'm Brahm from Learn with Brahm, and today I want to show you how a very simple foot massager works. So I had this old one lying around my house, you can see here, and it was actually broken, so I almost ended up throwing it away, but I thought it would be a great learning opportunity. So how a foot massager works is you put a bunch of water in this tub here, and you push the switch here, and it bubbles the water and it heats it up, so it sort of gives a relaxing sensation to your feet. So to figure out how it works, I had to flip it over and I had to remove a cover, and this is the main circuit here. So as you can see, this wire here, it's a AC plug. 120 volts is what it supplies, and it, sorry, let me focus it here, and it leads up to this point, which could be hard to tell, but it actually switches into two wires here, a positive end and a negative end right here. This is where it goes. And so one end of that comes down here to this push button switch. As you can see from the top, it leads to here, and that's just the switch to turn it on. And from there, it'll go into this single conductor wire all the way around the tube. That's actually to heat it. It'll heat up the wire, and in turn will heat up the bottom of the foot massager, and it'll go all around here until this point where it'll come here, and it'll lead to this AC motor here. So you can see here. You can see this AC motor here. I believe these are diodes. There's 4 diodes sitting on it, and it actually had a cover I just had to remove. And so that's the DC motor will actually spin, or sorry, the AC motor will spin, and it will push water out of these tubes. So if you look at the tube here, you can see this blue sort of area. There's a bunch of these holes. And these holes, if you trace them to the back, will bring you here and on that side here. And those holes, once water fills them up, they will come through these tubes, and from this side it'll come from here, and it'll converge here at this one point, and it'll come up into this sort of cavity, this space to hold the water. And what I believe happens, I believe the AC motor has this sort of fan that'll blow water back out into these tubes, and basically bubbling them, and it'll come back up through these holes. So after looking around for a bit, I found out that this 4 diode configuration here in this specific sort of way is actually called a bridge rectifier. And a bridge rectifier converts any AC into DC. So the pulsating positive and negative voltage will be converted into only positive voltage. So that means that the motor here, I had to take the top and the bottom off, as I'll show you in a minute. This motor here isn't actually an AC motor, it's a DC motor, a regular DC motor. So also the bottom here, I had removed this cover off of it, and you see these fins here. I originally thought that water went into this sort of area, but after removing it and looking around a bit, I found water would just come out of this hole here. So when the cover was on, you can see here, as if the cover's on, the only way for the air to be pushed out is through this opening here. And I cut open this pipe sort of here. You can see that's where the air comes from. There's this sort of gateway, so water actually doesn't come all the way through. It stops here, and the air is pushed out through here, and it can come. The air is able to be pushed through the pipe, but water won't be able to enter when it's pushed from the other way. So it's sort of kind of like a one-way valve. Also, what I didn't talk about before is over here, these wires, how they actually heat up. So these wires let off more heat than regular wires because they're highly resistive. And this is important because in Joule's heating law, or inductive resistance, the equation shows that as resistance increases, so does the amount of heat that's let off in thermal energy. So the equation is joules in heat is equal to current squared times resistance times time. So it's important to see how if the resistance of the wire increases, so does the amount of energy that's let off. And this is also used, this type of principle is also used in electric stove. So if you have any coiled stoves, they heat up, the bright red comes because energies run through them, and that in turn lets off a lot of heat.